Hello collectors, this is the Super Dave, here to talk to you about the Asmus Toys Frodo Baggins version 1. This is the original release that was also part of the 2-pack of Frodo and Sam. So like I said, my version 2 Slim version 2 video. This is going to be an unboxing. I'm not going to go too much into it. It's not a review. I'm just going to show you what you're looking at, show you what, or tell you what I think. I haven't seen a whole lot of videos on these. When I was looking to buy these, it's kind of hard to tell what I was looking at. So hopefully anybody who's in the market kind of late to this game like I am, trying to figure out which is what and what they look like and what you're looking at, more importantly, on any of the buy, sell, trade or auction sites. Maybe these will help you understand what you're looking at and get what you need or get what you want. So anyway, here we go. This is the version 1 Frodo Baggins from Asmus Toys. And I'm going to go right into it real quick. The box is largely identical to the version 2. So the version 2 has no slim designation or anything like that. I am going to do a side-by-side comparison video as soon as I can, maybe tomorrow, and have it up as soon as possible after that. But just right off the bat, the biggest thing is I noticed there is no barcode on here anywhere, and the version 2 did have the barcode. So let's go right into this. You have to forgive me, this is not my normal environment, so I might be making a few more adjustments than normal, and I'm having to deal with, well, yeah, I'm in a hotel room right now, so I'm doing the best I can. Let's get right to it. So we're going to pull the box off. Here is the biggest indicator of what you're getting. I'm going to pull back a little bit. You can see just right there, the version 1s have a number. So there's 1,000 produced, that's number 113. And they have this big insert right on the inside of the box, overlay, I guess I should say, with the version 1 head sculpt, which is different than version 2. So I'm going to lay this down, and we're going to see what's inside. So you just pull the overlay off. It's just a thin piece. Tells you a little bit about Frodo, which is kind of cool. Some of the later releases, they do that on the back of the box. I kind of like it. So inside, it's the same. The tray you're looking at. One thing you'll notice, if I can get the light to catch it, the lighting is terrible in this hotel room. There we go. He is wearing his green riding cloak, and then his elvish Lothlorien cloak is here, whereas in the version 2, his green cloak is right here. And like I said, I'll show you more of that tomorrow. Let's get into this guy. I'm just going to pull the whole thing out, so you got your instructions here. Just Frodo Baggins. Let's get these boxes out of the way. Pull this lid off. And the first thing I'm going to do is get Frodo out. So you can see, like I said, he comes, or like you just saw, he comes wearing his green riding coat, and I can already see something different, which I'll talk about in my very next video. So I did buy this second, or probably, or I can confirm now, actually, third hand. So I got this at a really, really good deal because the guy, or I'm assuming it's a guy, the person didn't know what they had. So they probably got a ballpark figure, or they were asking probably what they paid for it, or a little bit more. It was still a really, really good price, marginally above its original retail, because I think they didn't know what they had, and I'll explain why here in just a little bit. I did cheat. I opened this up to verify the contents, but that was about it. So as you can see, he's got the plastic on. This has all been obviously repackaged by the second seller. It's probably just some private individual. So I'm just going to take all this stuff off. That was so I have to say, if they went to the trouble of putting the plastic back on the feet, especially, and the head, he probably, or they probably got it from a collector, somebody who didn't just take him out, throw away the box and everything else, and throw them up on a shelf. So right away you'll see this is a different head sculpt than what we got in version 2. Very, very different. And I'm going to get into all this stuff. You know what? Let's just do this now. Let's do the. Let's go ahead and do the figure right now. So you can see it's a very different head sculpt. It's one piece. It's much more like, well, most of the other companies are doing. It's one piece, head and neck, whereas the version 2 is a separate head and a separate neck piece, which personally I prefer that. I know it's not always easy to do with some figures. But I do like the added mobility that gives you. So we got the green riding cloak on, no wires anywhere that I can feel. I'm not going to take it off right now. We're just going to unbox this guy and see what we got in here. And looking like his head was crunched down onto the top of his shirt. Okay, so I'm going to have to take this guy apart. Not apart, but, well, and deconstruct him a little bit to check him out. So it's looks, I mean, I don't know why it would be a different body. Doesn't feel as ratchety, I guess, if you will, in the joints as my version 2. Ooh, those knees are stiff. Wow, those are really stiff. That takes a lot of effort to move those. Interesting. Okay, otherwise they feel okay. A little squeaky. Those feet are a lot hairier, a lot muddier. Okay, well, so far so good. Wrist pegs are good, I guess. Yeah, looks like. Until I maybe try to pull one of them off and it snaps. All right, let's get the stuff out, right? Frodo, you can stand there and supervise. I'm just going to start at the top and get all his hands out. And here, when I opened it up to inspect, this is how I knew something was afoot. And let's pin down just, well, that's as good as I can get here. So, I can get his hands out. Now these hands have a different paint application than the version 2, I can already tell. The knuckles are a lot pinker. Whereas the version 2 hands were pretty flat. I feel like these are these have some hues, different hues, skin tones in both the palm and the. I don't know if I can get the light. This is the best light I can get in here, guys. Those are super soft bulbs and they're tiny. You can kind of, there's a little bit of pinkishness on the knuckles and a little bit on the fingers. Fingernails are, they have a pink hue to them as well. It's pretty subtle, but it's noticeable. So, if my research is correct and the photos I have seen on websites, you know, and stock photos from Asmus is correct, these two hands should have come with rings on them. And that was, I opened this up and prompted me to say, hey, I asked the seller, what's the deal here? Is it possible they may have fallen out while they were in your possession, whatever the case is? And that's when I got the explanation that the seller had bought it, Frodo, second-hand, presumably at least, from another collector, and had never opened it up to verify the contents or anything like that, and didn't know there were any rings missing, or that they were even supposed to include a couple extra rings here. So not too big a deal. Of course I would like to have had them, but you know, I'm a collector to enjoy these things and to you know, photograph, take pictures. You know, it's a hobby of pleasure. I'm not looking to curate these figures or anything like that. So and like I've said before, I like giving used toys a second home. So I'm happy to have this, even though those are missing. And I do like having just the other head sculpt. And let's finish up. Let's keep going here. So I got a couple wrist pegs. I'm not going to take those out. We all know what wrist pegs look like. Of course, the Light of Elendil. Light of Irendil from Galadriel. It looks identical to the version 2. See if I can get a clearer picture of that for you guys. There we go. Looks identical. I can't tell any difference, and I don't know why they would have changed that, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't have. We have Sting, of course, and here's a big difference between version 1 and version 2. This is plastic. So, yeah, very interesting. And like I said, I'll do a comparison. I'll side by side everything as soon as I get home. But yeah, when I pulled that out, it's like, oh, that's not heavy at all. That is very light plastic there. Let's do this. The backpack, very similar, we'll say, to the... That's a little better. I'm going to have to go into post and add some light here. Very similar to the version 2, but I can see some differences just right off the bat, which very subtle, but they are there. Otherwise, it's the same, largely the same construction. Feels like the same material. Feels a little less stuffed than version 2, though. However, and here now is the main reason I went ahead and was looking for this. It's the Elven Cloak from Galadriel when they go to Lothlorien. So it's got the Elven pin. Now, here's something funny that Asmus did for no apparent reason whatsoever. They had the hood folded over and glued to itself, apparently, so that when it was on the figure, the hood would lay flat, and you could put his backpack over it, right? I don't know what they were thinking. That one really baffles the mind. There's no reason this hood wouldn't flatten out. It's not even thick material. It's very, very thin, almost maybe even a microfiber type cloth. So what they were thinking, I really don't know, man. That was a I don't even know what to say about that. You're offering what you're wanting to offer, a high-end collectible, quality action figure, and then you go and glue a hood to itself. Yeah, I don't know, did they not think that us collectors would be able to manage a hood like it had never been done before? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and gripe about it. But the consequence is that whoever owned this before I did what probably so many other people did and was like, what the heck, and pulled it apart, right? Leaving this giant gob of glue for us to deal with. Now, I have not had this on the figure yet, obviously. I'm unboxing it for the first time with you guys. So I don't know how... I'm definitely going to try to get this off. I have some ideas. Probably some non-acetone nail polish remover to start. I've never used Goo Gone on a cloth like this. But it's really crumbly. I mean, maybe if you sat here and picked at it enough, you might be able to get a whole lot of it off, but I'd be afraid of ripping the fabric. Let's see you can see there on the inside. It's glue went all the way through. Not a whole lot. There are about 3 spots there where the glue soaked all the way in, so that could present some challenges, but we'll see what we can do with that. And I'm sure once I get it figured out, maybe I'll do a little quickie video of what I ended up doing with him and how he sits on my shelf. But there again, I've at least got the Elven Cloak, which, again, another kind of head scratcher on behalf of Asmus is why didn't they just include the Elvish cloaks with all of their releases? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a... I mean, they wear those for the entire, 5/8 of the movie or greater. I mean, what is it? Like, well, yeah, I guess it's the first half of Fellowship that they go without. Or maybe the first 3/4. Who knows? Anyway, the entire 2 subsequent movies, they're wearing their Elven cloaks, which, again, I don't know why you wouldn't. I'm going to use Sting to fish out the one ring. He does, of course, even though he was missing. Oh, well, there it is. Sorry about that. Fell out in the unboxing. Wasn't where it was supposed to be. It, to the naked eye, looks identical to what we get with version 2. It's a great piece, very metallic. Sorry, my hands are too shaky to hold it very steady. I don't have anything else I could have a Frodo hold it, but it's a great chain, super fine, tiny little links. Like I said, shiny, catches the eye really well, very metallic, not like some of the flat gold or silver paint we've seen in some other applications. Okay, so there you have it. That's everything, guys. That's all he's got in the box. Nothing left. So there you have it. That's we're gonna look a little bit closer at this body, but there you have the version 1, the original release of Frodo. So let's take a little bit closer look at him. I'm gonna scooch some of this stuff to the side and get it out of the way so I don't end up knocking it under the bed or something crazy like that. Have to get hotel maintenance out here to lift the bed up or something crazy. So let's look at this body. I got all his stuff out of the way. Let's see what's going on here with this version 1. That's an interesting head sculpt, and oh, you know what? This jacket is a little bit different than the version 2. I'm going to try and really hard not to talk about that so I can do just a full video, and I'll go over each individual detail. But it's an interesting head sculpt, man. The eyes, obviously lots bluer, much more noticeable. I kind of like this head sculpt. It's a pretty singular expression, I guess, if you want to. Yeah, I mean, that worried look, I would prefer a more neutral look, I think, than for, display. This kind of limits a lot of what you can do, whereas a neutral expression, you can kind of build the mood of a photo or of a setting based on your figure's body language or something like that, whereas when you put a face like this on there, I mean, this is the face of duress, or concern. It'd be really hard to do anything lighthearted or fun with a face like this. So I guess I could say I'm glad Asmus opted to do another head sculpt, but I do really like this one. I think it's a great job by the sculptor. I do like the ears, where you can see that they are a little bit pointy. I think that's something that's lacking on the version 2 is his hair. His ears covered by his hair. This hair is also really intricate. It's hard to see especially in this light, but really, man, it's really great hair sculpt. especially as thick and as curly as Hobbit's hair is. I really like it. So let's pop this off and see what's going on underneath, huh? Carefully, all right. So like I said, one piece, head and neck. All right. So you wouldn't be able to pop, swap heads out. I mean, I don't know why you'd need to. I'm presuming it's the same body, but you wouldn't be able to do that. Just back and forth if for some reason you wanted to. And I guess at some point Asmus issued a expansion. Ooh, that's different. Instead of Velcro, there's snaps. Huh. All right, I just want to get this head back on. I figured it. So that is probably a standard little neck peg. It seems like I have identical neck pegs in my parts box. Carefully pops back on, just like most of your other 1/6 figures. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of differences between this one and the version 2, or the slim version rather. I should call it that. What I have is the if I didn't make that clear in the video, is the slim version 2. There was a version 1 slim which had brighter eyes, more like this one apparently, and then there's the one I have that I've done the video for, which has a little bit more greener or even hazily eyes, as opposed to Frodo's or Elijah Wood's bright blue eyes. This is a problem. This is a plastic snap, not a metal snap, so you got to be real careful snapping that back in. I've broken many of these plastic snaps. Nope, that's plastic too. Fantastic. So this guy's not going to get messed with a whole lot, I can tell you, if I'm going to have to be dealing with plastic snaps to do anything. So that's unfortunate. Shirt looks different, but without... Also, it doesn't like to stay over his neck. That's interesting. Probably better that it's hidden by his jacket and everything else. All right, guys, I think that's probably sufficient, right? You get the idea. You get the differences. Version 1 unboxing, I am going to do a side-by-side. In fact, I can't wait because I see tons and tons of subtle little differences that, whether or not anybody else has picked up on it. See, it's already unbuckled. Whether or not anybody else has noticed, they haven't mentioned it other than the obvious plastic weapon, head sculpt, and elven cloak. So I really can't wait to do that. Hopefully tomorrow night, and I'll get it edited and loaded, which seems to be my greatest obstacle doing these videos, is getting them uploaded. My devices don't like to play nice. But thanks for watching, guys. Comments, questions, concerns, I'm happy to respond as soon as I can. And if you want, give me a follow on Instagram. That is where I showcase my photography, which should be improving in leaps and bounds here in the next month or so. I've got a big move coming up, and I'll have some room to really expand and do some proper work, and even get outdoors and have something as a background other than the desert. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to the pictures I'll be taking here come springtime. Once again, thanks for watching. Look for that comparison video, which I'll have up as soon as I can. Once again, Super Dave, Asmus Toys, Frodo Baggins version 1. We'll see you next time.